Welcome students. This is Unit 2 Part 15 video. Here we are going to learn about accelerated motion, average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. In the previous videos you have learnt motion along one dimension, under which you learn what is average velocity, what is relative velocity, isn't it? Yes. You would feel very thrilling if you ride bike at high speed. It is very interesting to watch car race. Rather, we gain confidence if we ride car amidst high-speed vehicles in a city traffic. This kind of motion or non-uniform motion, actually, here the velocity changes with time to time. And so we call this kind of motion as accelerated motion. What is an accelerated motion? During non-uniform motion of an object, the velocity of the object changes from instant to instant. அதாவது velocity of the object constant இருக்காது, time பொறுத்து change ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும். Such a motion is said to be an accelerated motion. Coming to the types of acceleration, there are uniform acceleration, non-uniform acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. Shall we learn in detail about them? It is uniformly accelerated motion. In an accelerated motion, if the change in velocity of the object per unit time is same, that means it remains constant, then the object is said to be moving with uniformly accelerated motion. Let us discuss an example. You find a car moving from city A to city B. Car covers equal distances at equal intervals of time. For every half an hour, car has covered 30 kilometers. Okay. So, this is an example for uniformly accelerated motion where the change in velocity of the car per unit time remains the same. Then what is non-uniformly accelerated motion? In the non-uniformly accelerated motion, the change in velocity per unit time is different at different times. Then the object is said to be moving with non-uniform accelerated motion. Again, it's an example. இங்க பார்த்தேன்னா car covers unequal distances at unequal intervals of time. Let us learn few more examples for uniform acceleration. As we discussed earlier, again the motion of a car from original position O to various position B, A, B and C. See, at each position car has covered equal distances, 4 meters for every 2 seconds. So, this is a kind of uniform acceleration. Yes, it is also another example for uniform acceleration. Can you guess the most familiar example for uniform acceleration? Yes, it is motion of a free falling body, which is uniformly accelerated motion. This example, which is nice enough to watch, is the flowing of water. It's a kind of non-uniform acceleration. Why do we say it is non-uniform? Because here the water travels with different velocity at different time. And another interesting example is also there for non-uniform acceleration, and we come across many examples in our daily life for all these kinds of uniform acceleration and non-uniform acceleration. Now let us learn about average acceleration. What is an average acceleration? If an object changes its velocity from the value of v1 vector to v2 vector in a time interval delta t, which is expressed as t2 minus t1, then the acceleration is defined as the ratio of change in velocity over time interval delta t. How do we express? Yes, as it is the ratio, we write average velocity is v2 vector minus v1 vector by t2 minus t1. What is this v2 minus v1 vector? It is delta v vector by delta t. And this average acceleration is a vector quantity and it is in the same direction as the vector delta v. Now coming to the discussion of an example under average acceleration. The velocity of a car increases from 2 meter per second at 1.0 second to 16 meter per second at 4.5 second. What is the car's average acceleration? Yes, here we apply the expression v2 vector minus v1 vector by t2 minus t1, what we learnt in the previous slide. So when you just submit values, it is 16 meter per second v2 minus v1 is 2 meter per second and t2 is 4.5 second, t1 is 1.0 second, and mathematically we can calculate what is the car's average acceleration. It is found to be equal to 4 meter per second square. Yes. Next is instantaneous acceleration. You learned that average acceleration, it gives only the change in velocity over the entire time interval and it will not give the value of acceleration at any time instant t. அது வந்து மொத்த டைம் இன்டர்வலுக்கும் உள்ள acceleration கொடுக்கிறது தான் average acceleration படிச்சோம். But at any instant time t, what is the acceleration அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா it is nothing but instantaneous acceleration. So I explain once again. Usually the average acceleration will give the change in velocity only over the entire time interval. It will not give the value of the acceleration at any instant of time t. Here it is expressed as at any instant of time t as the ratio of change in velocity over delta t, and here the delta t approaches 0. Shall we see its expression as acceleration a vector is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, that is delta v vector by delta t is equal to dv vector by dt. Here we have to use the symbol vector. So in other words, we can say the acceleration of the particle at any instant is equal to the rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity. So acceleration is a vector quantity and its SI unit is meter per second square, as you know, and its dimensional formula also we have studied that it is m power 0, L power 1 and T power minus 2. Acceleration is positive if its velocity is increasing. Velocity increase ஆயிட்டே போனா the acceleration positive acceleration சொல்லுவோம். Velocity குறைஞ்சிட்டே போறது நம்ம negative acceleration சொல்லுவோம். This negative acceleration is also called retardation or deceleration. Now how do we express in terms of components? How do we express this acceleration in terms of components? We can write A vector is equal to as dvx by dt I cap plus dvy by dt j cap plus dvz by dt k cap. That's equal to dv vector by dt. This is the way how to express acceleration in terms of its components. It's very important, students. Kindly note. Any quantity you should be able to express in terms of its components. Thus, here this dvx by dt is nothing but x component of acceleration, that is ax. Similarly, ay is equal to dvy by dt and az is equal to dvz by dt are the components of instantaneous acceleration. So, which are the components? ax, ay and az. So, here in each component you see is a derivative of corresponding coordinate. That is why we express this as ax, ay and az. Here, since each component of velocity is the derivative of corresponding coordinate, we can express the components as ax, az, ay. Okay, let us see. If we express as the derivative of its as we say as a second order derivative, dv by dt ங்கிறது நம்ம என்ன போடலாம்? Yeah, v is equal to dx by dt, and so it is d square x by dt square, and similarly ay is equal to d square y by dt square, az is equal to d square z by dt square. And we just express acceleration vector a itself as the a vector is d squared x by dt square I cap d squared y by dt square j cap d square z by dt square k cap, that's equal to d squared r vector by dt square. See, this is the position vector. Let me explain once again to make you clear. Students, you find, you know, if it is ax, we can write it as dvx by dt. But what is vx is equal to dx by dt, no? So we substitute here. That is why it is expressed as the second derivative. d by dt y component to z component. Hope you have understood. So, now we come to know acceleration is the second derivative of the position vector with respect to time. Yes. Graphs provide a convenient method to present basic information about a variety of events that we know it. Here we are able to see velocity time graph an object moving with the uniform acceleration. See, this is the motion of an object under uniform acceleration. Here we call it as velocity time graph as time is taken along x axis and velocity along y axis. As the motion is uniform, we can calculate acceleration from the graph itself by calculating what is its slope. This is the way how to find out the slope that we have discussed already in previous videos. Yes. Graphically, the acceleration is the slope in the velocity time graph. And this graph, this is the graph for acceleration time is given, then how do you find out the velocity? Velocity can be found from the area under the acceleration time. Let us learn its expressions. From dv by dt is equal to a, you know that what is dv is equal to a into dt. And to calculate as a whole, we have to integrate. So integral t1 to t2 a into dt. If we integrate here from the initial time t1 to the final time t2, okay, coming to an example. An object is thrown vertically downward. What is the acceleration experienced by the object? Let us learn the solution. It is an example from your book, textbook. We know that the object falls downwards the earth, then it experiences acceleration due to gravity g, downward direction. Now we can choose the coordinate system. How do you choose the coordinate system? As you see in the figure, this is ground, object moves downward, and so if it moves upward, it lies along positive y direction, but if it moves downward, it lies along negative y direction. And so this is expressed as acceleration is negative along, acceleration you see along the negative y direction is g into minus j cap. You know students, this is I cap and positive y direction is j cap and negative y direction is taken along minus j cap. So what's the acceleration here? It is minus j cap.
Students, I would like to share problem 2.31 from your textbook. Let me explain with the PDF. A velocity time graph is given for a particle moving in x direction as below. You are able to observe the velocity time graph. Now the particle is said to be moving along the x direction. Now we need to find out motion qualitatively in the interval 0 to 55 seconds. Keenly observe from the graph. This is the time taken. See here, it starts from 0 second. This is 5. This line represents it is a 5 second. Okay. Then this is 10 as it is marked. Then it should be 15 second, 20th second, 25, 30, 35 and it goes on. And along y-axis velocity is marked. And as per the information, velocity of a particle at this position is 20 meter per second and 40 meter per second, 60 meter per second and it goes on like this. So we have to describe the motion of a particle qualitatively. In order to describe the motion qualitatively from 0 to 55 seconds, let us segregate the position of the particle according to the diagram as from O to A, that is from the initial position to the position A. Remember, first position is from O to A. This is according to the graph. And the second position is from A to B, then B to C, then C to D, and then D to E. Okay. So, in this way we are going to describe the motion qualitatively. So, let us first come to describe the position of the particle from O to A. So, here the time taken is 0 second to 10 second. So, when it starts with 0 second, you may observe time taken is 0. If the time taken is 0, then the velocity is also 0 at this position. Then when the particle starts to move along OA, that means velocity of the particle increases along positive x direction. Positive x direction. As the particle moves along OA, velocity increases along positive x direction, and we need to find out the slope. Suppose if we find out the slope, how do we find out the slope? It is this position, that is dy by dx. Here it is applied as dv by dt. Am I right? So in this way we can find out the slope. Slope is also going to be positive. If the slope is positive, that is dv by dt is positive, it implies that the particle is accelerating in the positive x direction. That is what acceleration is meant for, positive acceleration. And as it is positive acceleration, the velocity is said to be increasing during this time interval. Then coming to the position A to B. See here, what is first, note down the time taken. So the particle now starts from 10 second, and when it reaches the position B, it has been traveled through a certain distance, but the time taken would be 15 seconds. So time interval you see from 10th second to 15th second, the velocity of the particle is 60 meter per second. If the particle changes its position from A to B, there is no change in velocity. Only the time increases from 10 second to 15 second, but there is no change in velocity. You know very well that if there is no change in velocity, the particle has zero acceleration during this period. But you may observe that the particle continues to travel in the positive x direction. Just observe from the diagram, it continues to travel in the positive x direction. Okay, so we have seen the motion of a particle along OA, and we have completed the motion of the particle along AB. Now coming to BC, the same procedure. First, note down the time taken. See here, what's the time when it starts from the position B? It is 15 seconds, and when it reaches C, it is 30 seconds. Okay, the time taken is 15 seconds to 30 seconds. Time interval is 15 seconds. You know it. And the velocity when it starts, it has 60 meter per second, but you may find that particle starts to move along positive x direction. At t is equal to 30 seconds, velocity becomes 0. Then the particle comes to rest momentarily at t is equal to 30 seconds. Now let us describe the motion from C to D, that is from 30 seconds to 40 seconds. See here, the velocity is negative. It implies that particle starts to move in the negative x direction, but the magnitude of the velocity increases to 40 meter per second. Then coming to the description of motion along DE, that is from 40 second to 55 second. The velocity is still negative, but it starts increasing from minus 40 meter per second. When t reaches 55 seconds exactly, the velocity of the particle is 0 and the particle comes to rest. Now coming to the next question, find the distance and displacement travel from 0 second to 40 second. See here, from 0 second to 40 second. So first let us find out the total area under the curve from 0 to 40 second. Here the area from 0 to exactly, O to C represents motion along positive x direction. Am I right? This is motion along positive x direction. Okay. So we need to find out area under the curves. So first let us segregate as a regular shapes. this position from up to A. See here, this gives you a triangular shape. Am I right? This is triangular. And from A to B, you may see this is a rectangular shape. Just let me just differentiate with a different coloring. You may see this portion is rectangular. Okay. And again, B to C, this is also again another triangle along B to C. See, this portion is again triangle. Hope you understand. This area is again another triangle. Now coming to the area under the curve. For this, we find out the displacement traveled by the particle from 0 to 10 second. As it is triangle in shape, it can be taken as half into 10 into 60. Okay, so that gives you 300 meter. 300 meter. Now coming to the displacement from 10 second to 15 second. From the diagram you see, from 10 second to 15 second, it is rectangle, no? So B into H. So 10 into 60. 10 into 60. That gives you, yeah, it is 10. 10. This area we need, no? So we need to find out, this is 15. Yes, fine. Observe carefully, this is 15th second. So this portion exactly is only 5. Okay, so this 5 into 60, and so it is 300 meter again. 300 meter. So let me just draw diagram accordingly from 10 second to 15 second, as it is going to be the rectangular shape. So this is rectangle. The portion of the graph, it is 5 and this is 60 as per the information from the figure. Okay, that is why we are getting as 300 meter. Now what's the displacement travel from 15 second to 30 second? Again, it is the, what's the shape? Yes, good, it is triangular shape. So if it is a triangle, you know, it is half into BH, you know, so this is triangle, half into BH. We write this portion as 15 and height remains the same as 60, and so we find out this is 450 meter. Here we need to find out the difference of 30 and 50. Okay, so it is 15. That's why we are getting 450 meter calculation. Now, let us find out the displacement travel from 30 second to 40 second. But it comes along the negative x direction, 30 second to 40 second, negative x direction. Okay. So, time interval is 10. But what about the height? It is minus 40, you know, as it is along the negative x. This is going to be minus 40. See here, just carefully observe, this is minus 40. And so, what is the displacement made from 30 second to 40 second? It is minus 200 meter. See here, negative sign implies particle travels 200 but in the negative direction. Only negative sign indicates the direction. Okay. Now the total displacement we need to find out from 0 second to 40 second. So to find out the total, we need to find out the sum of all displacements. Okay, first 300, that is the regular triangular area. This is rectangular area. This is again another triangle. This is also a triangle in the negative x direction. So we get plus 850 meter. That's the net displacement along positive x direction. The total distance traveled by the particle from 0 to 40 second is, so here we have found out what is displacement, students. We have considered also in the negative x direction. But to find out the distance traveled from 0 second to 40 second, just we need to add up all the magnitudes, and that's why we get the different value. You know very well, distance can only in be positive value. Yeah. Now coming to the third question. Find the acceleration at time 5 second and at t is equal to 20 second. Shall we find out? It is the well known formula to find out what is an acceleration. Yes, it is v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1. All the information we need to get from the graph. In the first 10 seconds, velocity has constant slope, and it implies that acceleration from v1 is 0. ஏன்னா ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது கான்ஸ்டன்டா இருக்கும்போது ஸ்லோப் கான்ஸ்டன்டா இருந்துச்சுன்னா என்னது velocity change இல்ல அப்ப v1 is taken as 0 and v2 is 60 meter per second. இப்போ to find out what is the acceleration, v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t2. அப்போ நீ என்ன பண்ணணும், இதுல substitute பண்ணணும், அவ்வளவுதான். Direct substitution will give you what is acceleration. And next, the particle has negative slope when it comes to 15 second to 15 second to 30 second. Okay, 15 second to 13 second. In this case, velocity is v2 is 0, v1 becomes 60 meter per second, and thus acceleration at 20 second we can write it as 0 minus 60. Here as v1 and v2 changes, 0 minus 60, 30 minus 50 give you minus 4 meter per second square as the acceleration. Negative sign indicates that a particle has negative acceleration, nothing but retardation. Okay, yes. Now coming to the next example, that is position vector of the particle is given. You need to find out the velocity of the particle at 3 seconds, speed of the particle and the acceleration. So simple. This I am explaining with the PDF because you are familiar with these workouts. Okay. Coming to the expression of components of velocity, v vector is dr vector by dt is equal to dx by dt I cap plus dy by dt j cap plus dz by dt k cap. And so we obtain here from the given value, you need to differentiate it. Okay, so in the differentiation, in the previous videos it has been explained how to do the differentiation, and so according we get 6t plus 6t, am I right, 6t I cap plus 5j. So here the velocity only has two components, that is x component of velocity is 60 depending upon the time, and y component is 5 which is independent of the time. There is no time factor here. So we need to find out what is the velocity at the third second. When time t is equal to 3 seconds, we need to find out the velocity. So substitute t is equal to 3 seconds, we will get the answer. Instead of t, if we substitute as 3, then it is 18i plus 18i cap plus 5j. Similarly, we need to find out what is speed. Okay, this is square root of x square plus y square. That's why we are getting, and the approximate value. And you know how to find out this acceleration is the second derivative of the position vector. Am I right? So this is velocity is the first derivative. So you need to differentiate once again this with respect to time. So when you differentiate as a second derivative once again with respect to time, 60 I cap would be 6i and this would be 0. Okay, so let us have acceleration only along x component, only x component, since only I cap is present, the other things become 0. Here acceleration is independent of time. When the acceleration becomes independent of time, then the acceleration is said to be constant. Even at t is equal to 3 seconds, it has the same value. Velocity is non-uniform, means then the acceleration is uniform in this case. This is what the explanation. Okay students, you may follow your book while watching the videos. Learn example problems also thoroughly. Hope you have understood. Thank you.